Hi, everybody. This is a new update to the Metahuman to Maya process. This is for getting exporting out facial animation from a level sequence into an animation sequence and then out to an FBX. My previous process that I showed before, that process worked fairly well for certain few cases for versions of Maya. I had reports back that this was not always the case for everybody. So there was, for some reason, there was an incompatibility between FBXs. So I have an alternative solution that should work for Maya 2020, 2022, and 2023 for both Maya running Python 2.7 and all the way up to 3.9. So I've got my sample Metahuman project. I've opened up the sequencer level, and now we've got Ada here doing her I'm a Metahuman.
I am a metahuman, the next generation.
Cool. All right, so let's find the control rig for her. We got the face component here selected, not the control board, but we need the face component. And so now we're going to do two processes. One, we're going to do the bake animation sequence, and then for the legacy one, that's a little bit faster, but that one's the one that doesn't always have the support in Maya. But this one, baking out to an animation sequence, that proves to be much more, works more across all the different versions of Maya, and but it has a slightly different process for getting that animation onto the rig. So it's a little bit slower, but it does go through. This one is faster, but doesn't always have the same FBX compatibility. So let's run through this first one. So I'm going to bake the animation sequence. I'm going to put it into my export sequence folder. We'll just call this BP Ada face, leaving all the default options on. And let's give that a second. It'll pop up here when that's completed. All right, so that's gone through. So let's go ahead and export that out as our FBX. So we're going to do asset actions, export. And here are my options for exporting out that data. So I've got a FBX Ada. FBX compatibility, I'll set to 2020. We're going to leave all these options off to keep the file size as small as possible, but all the information that we need. So we need these four checkboxes, and then we're going to hit export. Let that go through. It'll take just a second. Great, so now let's go ahead and export the alternative. That'll show that's a little bit faster, but at least we can see it and how it differs in Maya. So we're going to export this one, but we need to bake out the control rig on this. So we're going to click export. I'm going to leave all the options, reset the default, hit create. That should bake our timeline. All right, so now that's baked completely to the timeline. So let's export that out as an FBX. Okay, so now I've set my path. I've set it to, we're exporting this as a level sequence, keeping all the same options in here, and we'll click export. All right, now we'll head over to Maya. All right, so now we're back in Maya. I'm in Maya 2023.3. And so I downloaded Ada, and I've exported her from Bridge. And so just to confirm that she is functioning, just wiggle one of those controls. I've already got the code up in my my documents, my 2023 scripts folder, and so now we can execute that. And you just need to select any piece on her, could be her face, something on the control board, and we want to set the current metahuman. So now we've got Ada loaded in here. There's also a help page here if you wanted to kind of go through some of the notes I have in here. Talks about some of the other options in here. And so we're going to run through and bring in that facial animation that we exported out from the animation sequence. So I go to my desktop. Let's choose this first one. So we exported out the one from the facial board and then the other one from the animation sequence. So this one's the level sequence. It's a much smaller file, and it's much faster to process, but it's not always compatible between my versions. So this is a fallback if that one doesn't work. So if the level sequence one does not work for you, then please choose the animation sequence version. And so we're just going to let that go through, and we'll speed this process up, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, we're back, and so that took just a hair under 2 minutes, and we can see now that her facial animation is now playing. Just to confirm that this is her face moving with the audio, so we'll bring in the audio. I've got the sample file that I exported out from the Metahuman project. Bring that in. I'm just going to offset that data just ever so slightly, just so that it lines up a little bit better. And we'll see how that comes through.
I am a metahuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine. Metahumans are high-fidelity digital characters created by you.
Okay, so let's going to reset here, and we'll do the level sequence here. Okay, we're back. I've got her reloaded, and selecting control, get her loaded in the tool, and let's try that level sequence and see how much faster that is. Here's the level sequence, and that was pretty quick. Just confirm that this is also working with the audio. We'll bring in the audio. Oops. Let's do the, I think we'll try 3. I think the other one was a little bit too off.
I am a metahuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine.
Cool. All right, so that's all there. So now that you've got all that stuff in here, so you can go back here, you can use these controls to select, or buttons to select all these controls. In case if you needed to keyframe, if you also needed to reset everything back to default, you can do that here. You can switch between different metahumans just by, selecting a control or an element on their face and go back and forth between this process and picking your, and setting your current metahuman. All right, well, hopefully that works out better for everybody, and thanks again. Bye.